everybody. Today we're going to be talking about using Glitch and ChatGPT to generate a modern responsive website with an HTML file and a CSS file. Let's get started. Okay, so what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to have a code editor for your HTML and CSS files. I'm using Glitch. It's a free code editor that runs entirely in your browser. You're going to create an account, which we talked about in earlier videos, and click New Project. I'm going to click the Glitch Hello website, which is their basic starter website. It's going to take me just a minute to load, so I'm going to let that get going. I'm going to hop on over to my ChatGPT. By now, all of my students definitely know how to log into ChatGPT, but if you may need to create an account. And once you're all logged in, you're going to see something like this. I've been playing with ChatGPT quite a lot to try to generate responsive websites. This website, for instance, it's a sample that I generated entirely with ChatGPT. It is responsive. It uses Flexboxes, which is the modern layout that we need to use. It has an HTML and a CSS file. It has a menu across the top. So works pretty well. I have noticed some shortcomings in ChatGPT generated sites. So what I've done for you that I think is going to be very helpful is I have here a pre-prompt. A pre-prompt is some context we give ChatGPT. I'm going to put it below in the description. What I'm trying to do is to give ChatGPT some context so it doesn't get hung up and make some of the mistakes that I've seen when it generates CSS and HTML for me. So I gave it my pre-prompt. I can kind of show you what was in my pre-prompt. Some things that I've noticed that ChatGPT has a little bit of trouble with is the making the menu bar sticky at the top. This menu bar is sticky at the top. Oh, it's not sticky at the top, actually. So in my pre-prompt, I put some code and some examples so that when I scroll, that website, that bar up here, the navigation bar and the header, hopefully won't disappear. They'll say stuck up at the top. See that this was ChatGPT generated, and it didn't do that. So I put some code examples for it. The other thing that it struggles a little bit with that I've noticed is using the Flexbox layout. So I gave it some code so that it can generate Flexbox layout so that I could have one column on top of each other or two columns side by side like this. I gave it some code examples so that that would work a little bit smoothly. So I just copy pasted my pre-prompt, and again, the pre-prompt I'll put in the description below. And so now we can get started. All right. I am going to need two files. One is an HTML file. Let's see, before I generated, there's two columns here. One has a chocolate chip cookie recipe. There's a picture here. I'm just going to put a placeholder right now. And a column here, I can put some links or some Google ads or whatever that I wanted in this column. So with a menu header and a recipe, a placeholder for an image above the recipe, and a recipe for chocolate cake. Okay, let's use semantic naming conventions. So I want it to give standard names so that it's going to be easier to work with my CSS file, and give IDs to everything. In other words, I want it to give a name to every little thing so that I can manipulate with my CSS file easily, and I don't have to go in and redo my HTML so many times. Okay, so by semantic naming, I mean use tags like body and header and footer. So use that and give IDs to all my different sections, please. So, you know, name the ingredients something so I can go back and reference that with my style sheet. Name the instructions so I can go back and format that separately if I want to. So let's put in that HTML. Your glitch is going to come with some default sample HTML here. Let's go in and a sample CSS and sample JavaScript. Let's go in and erase them one by one. The JavaScript is what creates interactivity. Let's erase that. Let's erase our CSS, which is what's making things look beautiful. Like we have some green and some blue here, and when we erase it, it's going to become black and white and kind of ugly. So we're going to erase it because we're going to put our own style here. And then the content, like the words and the picture, is located in our HTML. Let's erase that too. Now it's clean slate. We copied what we got over from ChatGPT. Looking pretty good. I got a header. I got the beginnings of a menu, which we're going to lay out, not horizontal, not this way, but going across the screen vertically here. We'll lay that out in a minute. We've got a placeholder for our image. Looks like we got some headers. We've got an ingredients section, an instruction section, and a footer here. So that looks like everything we need. Let's see what it did for our styling. That's going to be our CSS style.css. We're going to copy the code. We're going to make sure that it's linking to style.css within our HTML, which it is. So this is telling our HTML to look in the style folder. We're going to copy our CSS folder, our CSS code over here. Looking pretty good, except that maybe I wanted some more columns. So I wanted a column over here like I had in this one for additional content later. So I'm gonna see if I can get it to correct that or add that. I don't know if I told it to do that originally. I want the website to have 2 columns side by side in the body, and this is in my pre-prompt. If you don't have this in your pre-prompt, it's really going to struggle with this Flexbox layout thing. Right now the content is laid. Let's see if it can handle that actually. All right, and it's going to make us re-copy paste our HTML and our CSS. But we're almost there. So here's our HTML. Pretty much the same. The CSS is where we need to make that Flexbox change. So I'm just going to let it finish, copy paste it. We can also look at the CSS too and see what it did. But let's just copy it, apply it. I said no prior coding knowledge is assumed. So let's just dumbly copy paste it over and see what happened. Okay. We're almost there. We have 2 columns now. That's looking pretty good. But I want the image really to be above the recipe probably. So we can say almost there. I want the image to be above the recipe and the leftmost column to be labeled Google Add Place Holder. Give the content light borders with rounded corners. That'll help me see what's happening. I can kill the borders later if I want to. Let me put in my HTML. Let me put in my new CSS. Is it done? Still working a little bit. Almost done. Okay, now we've got it. Okay, there we go. We've got it. Right, to continue adding to your website, such as linking to more pages or adding images, I've put the link to another HTML editing video that we've made in the description below, along with a pre-prompt. Happy generating, and thanks for watching the video.